People, what's going on? How's everybody out there doing? You guys are tuned in to Real Talk with Coach Wu, moving our community forward, part 46. Let's get right into the program, people.
Strikes attention, trapped in poverty, generations of injustice and inequality. Ancestors changed the world, and though they came in chains, in you the strength and hope lives and still remains. You're mighty and majestic, descendants of kings and queens. Royal blood flows through your veins, children of the dream. Hold your head up high. Hold your head up high. Vision for the sky. No matter what, I know you can sing it. No doubt about it, you're gonna make it. You're royalty, royalty, royalty. You're royalty. We got a message from above. You ain't no thug. You're royalty, royalty. Brother, you're a king. Sister, you're a queen. Children of the dream. If you've never been told, time for you to know you're royalty. Every day and every hour, stand up tall with pride and power. No matter what people say about you, never ever doubt you. Keep pushing, give it all you got. Don't stop till you reach the top. So hold your head up high. Hold your head up high. Keep reaching. No matter what, know you can take it. No doubt about it. You're gonna make it. You're royalty. Oh yes you are. This is from above. You ain't no thug. You're royalty. Brother, you're a king. Sister, you're a queen.
How y'all doing out there, good people? How's everyone doing? You guys are tuned in to the #1 community show in the land, people. Real Talk with Coach Wu, moving our community forward, and we're on part 46. And for those of you guys don't know, what is Real Talk with Coach Wu? What does it consist of? And oh, excuse me, I hate when people do this when I'm on. What does Real Talk with Coach Wu consist of? And in a nutshell, what we do is we try to highlight all the things, all the positive things that's transpiring in our community, all the ways we can ensure that the community is moving forward, all the ways in which we can come together as a community and try to do something positive, try not to be fragmented and divided. And this is the people's show. This is the community show. Although I'm doing it live from my fan page, it doesn't mean that it's my show. It's the community show, and I stick to it being a community show. So I welcome all ideas. I welcome that positive dialogue, that constructive criticism, because those are the things that's needed to ensure that we're moving in the right direction. And I mean, we're on episode 46. It's every Sunday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we just come here and we just do what we got to do. And I'm just elated at the following that the page have. And I just want to continue to just do the work in my community and serve my community, serve the voiceless individuals, serve the underprivileged individuals. And that's what I want to do. So we're on part 46, and tonight's agenda, we're going to have about 3 key talking points where we're going to home in on. We're going to talk about the slave trade in Libya and how the death of Muammar Gaddafi, the former ruler of that country, the president, if you will, of that country, how does his death contribute to the current slave trade? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about I really don't like this question or this statement. Can a woman raise a young man to be a productive man? I mean, I'll get into why I really don't like that statement. But we're going to talk about that as well. And also, we're going to talk about the attendance policy for the Board of Education, and how does that hurt or helps individuals in school. So let's see, I don't know, the viewers are down. I'm trying this new thing. I'm going live from the fan page now. Everyone is not on there, so please, y'all, share the video. For those ones that's in there now, share it as much as possible, and please go and like and share the fan page, Educational Gilmore Speaks LLC. We got to get our audience back. As you guys know, I've been blocked from going live from my other page. My page was reported for whatever reason, but it's water under the bridge. So let's just get right into the program, people. First and foremost, I want to talk about, I'm not going to talk about. First, I'm going to give huge shout outs. And the first huge shout out I want to give is to Detective Knowles for putting this, helping put this event together, A Tale of Two States that's goodness, I'm all over the place today, people. A Tale of Two States that transpired on Thursday. And she helped spearhead that initiative. And I'd like to thank all the participants from all the public schools in Jersey City. I want to give a special thank you to Franklin Walker for even allowing us to do this trip, to essentially give our kids an opportunity at a look or a glimpse at their future and the potential that their future have. And it was just a huge event, man. What we did, I'm not gonna be too long on that, because I've talked about it a couple times already. But for those of you who don't know, what we did was we took a group of high school students from Jersey City. We try to get representation from every high school in Jersey City. I've reached out to every high school in Jersey City, as well as Detective Knowles. She reached out to everybody, and for the most part, we got every high school to participate. And what the event is slated towards doing is essentially giving high school kids the ability to see people in the field that they're actually seeking to be in the field one day. And, we try to move away from the scare straight model where we just yelling at kids, and it's more informative, more talking, and more just conversation, and basically explaining to kids what can happen. Although it's not a scare straight type of program, kids do get reality checks, and they see the conditions of the jail. And I'm hoping that when those images stick to those young gentlemen and ladies' head, that this is not a place I want to be. It stinks in here. It's horrible in here. I don't see myself here. I don't want to be here. But also, they can also seek opportunities via careers in the correctional field, i.e., what does it take to be an administrator inside a correctional facility? What does it take to be a doctor there, a GED tutor there, a librarian, a paralegal, anything? So that's what this trip is geared towards doing, bringing awareness to the different type of careers that one can take up after the conclusion of high school. And then we go to Rutgers University. Rutgers is my alma mater. I'm going to try to expand and not go to Rutgers every year, or try to go to Rutgers and then other colleges. I've been very fortunate to have connections and networks in Rutgers, which allows me to do this trip free at charge for all of the students. So no one have to pay for this trip. And it's just huge for our kids to see different environments, because I'm a firm believer that one's environment can essentially stagnate to individual growth. In fact, I believe that you have to take an individual out of the only environment they know in order for them to reach their truest potential. And I highlight that because of my life story and how a changed environment helped me to blossom into the individual I am today. So I just want to pay it forward. I just want to give kids that same opportunity I had. And I always say all the time, I'm not giving no kids no handout. I don't want anybody else to give any kids no handouts. But what I do want is a level playing field. I want them to have the same opportunities that other kids across the state have. And there's parents' socioeconomic economical status should not dictate if they're going to receive fair opportunities. So that's what the event is geared towards in a nutshell. So again, thank everyone who participated, and we have 3 cash prize winners: $150, $100, and $50 for third place. So I know a lot of the teachers, the CITs are tuning in or going to tune in, and a lot of the kids are going to tune in. I need those essays by Thursday, people, so we could begin to look into them essays to see which ones are the most profound essays, and those are going to be the winners. So please, y'all, let's get a step on that. Let's get ahead of that before the holidays get here. And also, Wednesday, is it Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday. What is Wednesday, people? How you doing, Lisa? Takaria, Joe, what's going on, Joe? How's everything? So yeah, Wednesday, the Royal Men Foundation is doing a toy giveaway drive. So if you know any kids that in need of toys, please have them come out to the Bethune Center on December 20th. People, please, people, if your child is not in need of a toy, please let the less fortunate individuals get the toys first. Please do that, people. Because so many times where these events take place, these back-to-school drives and these Thanksgiving turkey drives and these Christmas drives, oh my goodness, for one reason or another, some people just do it just so they can say they did something. Some people do it because they're genuinely sincere and concerned about the less fortunate people in our community. So that's why I'm saying to make sure that the less fortunate people get the toys. So, if you don't need it, then don't come up there. Or you could come up there and talk to the brothers or whatever, but I just want the less fortunate people to get it. Everyone know me. I don't celebrate Christmas or any other holidays for that manner, but I know and understand that other people do celebrate it, so I'm not going to take that away from them. And that's a whole nother show for a whole nother time why I don't celebrate any holidays and things like that. So I'm not even going to get into any back and forth with regards to that. So again, Wednesday, December 20th at the Mary Bethune Center. In case you was under a rock or something, the Bethune Center is located on 140 MLK. Get down there. I believe the event start at 5. If I'm not mistaken, 5 or 5:30. If you really need further details, just inbox me or call me. Most people have my number anyway, and I'll get that information to you. But off the bat, I'm thinking is at 5 or 5:30. Hey, Leonora, how you doing, young lady? So, Leonora, I think you'll be you're going to be good with regards to your input on one of the topics. So. Why don't we just dive right into that topic, people? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dive right into that topic. And that topic is essentially, can a woman raise a young man to be a man? And how about the question of why should a woman have to raise a young man to being a man? That's the father's job. That's the male figure job. And we need to step up to the plate. So when I say I don't like that statement or I don't like that question, I'm not saying it's not a valid question. I'm more so saying that why should a woman have to raise a young man to be a man? Why? That should not be the case. Because one thing is for sure. That child did not ask to be here. If I don't know anything else about the relationship you hold with your husband, your wife, your baby mother, baby father, girlfriend, boyfriend, if I don't know anything else, I know for a fact, and I know with 100% certainty that that child did not ask to be born. So you must do your due diligence by that child, i.e. taking care of your child. Now, there are instances in where the mother and the father is not around. The legitimate reasons are they're deceased. And being incarcerated is essentially not a legitimate reason, seeing that you, for the most part, contributed to your incarceration. So I'm not giving those brothers Oh, excuse me, y'all. I'm not giving those brothers a pass, you know. And for me, the biggest thing is, I will say, the biggest thing is, Big Mama, women, ladies, you guys do a great job with raising men. I'm not going to take that from you. You guys do a great job with regards to preparing a young man for adulthood within your ability. However, it takes a real man, a strong man, to essentially give that young man the tools that's necessary to survive in this current climate. That's what we need, people. That's what we need. We need our fathers to come back home, to take care of their kids, namely these young men. I've been looking at data, and all the data suggests, well, just off the bat, data suggests that individuals who grow up in a single family household are more at risk, period. That's what the data say. Then, and when you look deep into the data and you look at more data, you see how the socioeconomical status of one's parent contribute to their prosperity in life. And then when you get into the data and you look at the absence of a father in an African American community, when you look at that, that's when the numbers are like, just blow you away. Just blow you away. And I'm always one of challenging data, if you will. So when I see these statistics and they jump out at me, it's all like I always want to do counter research. So you guys know I do mentoring. I have a lot of mentees. So, and I do speaking engagements all over the state or whatever. So when I go to encounter these young men, predominantly, although there have been instances where females have been to a couple of my speaking engagements, but we're talking about young men right now. And these are the questions that I ask. So when I'm inside the correctional facility, or if I'm inside of a group home, or if I'm inside of a place like Jamesburg, I ask the young man, how active is your father in your life? How long have he been active in your life? And without a shadow of a doubt, for the most part, it's always in a 70 or 80 percentile. I don't know why. It's in a 70 or 80 percentile, because I'm trying to figure out legitimate reasons that a male have to not be in one's life, i.e. his children. And like I said, if he's deceased, and although I'm not letting the brothers incarcerated off the hook, I know and understand that if you're incarcerated, it's going to be really hard for you to do what you need to do as a father figure for your child. So, like, why, people? Why? And I know females use kids to their advantage sometimes, and I understand that, you know. But I mean, it just had to be any means necessary. I need to be a father to my child. Any means necessary. Like, you just have to do the work. And people, fellas rather, don't be like, well, you know, she's not messing with me, so F that child, I'm not taking care of that child. You have to kind of be the bigger person in the situation, the adult in the situation, if you will, and look past that buffoonery. Look past that. You have a job that needs to be done. And as parents and husband and wives get in the business of going back and forth about who's right and who's wrong or whatever, what's most important seems to get lost in that mix, and i.e. taking care of the children. That's what should be most important. So you have to co-parent. I'm not going to lie, people, co-parent is not an easy thing to do. I know and understand that firsthand. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're dealing with estranged individuals that you're no longer in a relationship with. I know and understand that, I mean, it's not easy, but it has to be done, people. So sometimes you have to swallow your pride. Sometimes you have to take in stuff you wouldn't normally take in because you know in the long run it's going to benefit your offspring. So you have to be willing to do that dirty work. Roll your sleeves up. Look past the buffoonery and do what you have to do as a parent by your child to take care and provide by that child. And taking care and providing for that child has to go on beyond monetary things. It has to go on beyond that because you don't want to have a relationship with your child that's only based on only time you come and get them is to buy them something. You're never at parent-teacher consultation meetings. You're never at school plays. You're never at graduations. You're never at school activities. You're never doing activities. So all of that contribute. All of that contribute. And I kind of like, I beat this thing all the way into I beat a dead horse, so to say, because I know and understand firsthand what it feels like to not have a dad. And that's the one promise. That's the one promise that I made to myself, that I will always be there for my kids. I will always be there. That I'm not going to give them everything they want, but as a dad, I am always going to be there. I'm not going to agree with everything, and I'm not going to approve of everything. But as a dad, I am always going to be there for my children. That's the one promise that I made to myself. Leonora says, a mother can teach morals and values, but a mother can't teach him how to be a man. And that's basically where I wanted to go with that. Like, ladies, you can teach him the do's and don'ts in life, but you can't teach him to be a man. You can't, because first and foremost, you don't know what it's like to be a man. You know what you like in men, but you don't know what it's like to be a man. That's two different things. That's two different things. That's not the same thing, ladies. It is not the same thing to say what you like to see in a man and being a man. Drastically two different things. So that's why I say all the time to females who's not in a relationship with a child's mother or father, with their mother or father, that still try to maintain some type of sanity with regards to co-parenting. And like I said, people, it is hard. It is hard, especially when you and the other parent do not see eye to eye. It's hard. There's no other way to put it. But it has to be done, people. It has to be done, because if it's not, then you're only hurting your child. You're only hurting your child. And it's disheartening. It's extremely disheartening to me. Excuse me, y'all. Chest hurt for some reason. It's extremely disheartening to me to see that so many of my mentees and so many of my brothers don't have their father in their life. And I'm always telling them, like, yo, try to create a relationship with your father. Try to create a relationship with your father. Because I'm a firm believer that that's an essential relationship. That relationship has to be had. And that conversation needs to be had. So that's my thoughts on that. It's light. I hate these big old lights. I don't even know how to move this thing over to block it out. Okay, there you go. I blocked it out. So yeah, people, just do right by your kids, man. Do what you have to do. And at the end of the day, like I said, none of these kids asked to be born. Love your child the same way you love when you see them for the first time when they came out of the womb. When they was on that table, when that doctor was making them cry, and you was almost upset. Well, for me, I was upset the first time I seen it. I was like, yo, what are y'all doing? Y'all are extremely rough with a newborn over there. But, love your child the same way you do from the initial sight of them. Even when they get older and they think they know every damn thing and they don't listen to you as much as they used to or as much as they should, still, even then, love your child. Because the way life is composed is essentially you take care of your child, you raise them to be productive citizens, and then when you're on your way out and you're dwindling in life and your health is deteriorating, your child pay their due diligence to you as you have done to them, bringing them up, and they're watching you as you transition. So, I mean, just do it, people. Just do it. And we have to have a meeting. I want to gather all the men in the community, and we're gonna have this some type of way group parent, man, because a lot of these young men, their fathers are deceased. A lot of these young men, their fathers are incarcerated. A lot of these young men, their fathers are just simply deadbeats, and their fathers is not there. So we have to fill that void, because not only is that child being failed from a father perspective, he's also being failed from a community perspective. So always, people, always, I encourage my brothers to always engage these young men out here that you feel as though they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or they participating in some stuff that they should be participating in. Instead of talking about them and judging them, grab them, pull them to the side, have a conversation with them, give them your number. You never know when they're crying out for help. So let's get out of the business of always criticizing and talking about the kids, and get in a position where we're lending a helping hand. That's the position that we should get in, when we lending a helping hand. So that's what we need to do. So to that question, can a woman raise a young man to become a man? The real question is, why should a woman have to raise a young man to be a man? As men in the community, we need to step up. As men in our family, we need to step up. Brothers, uncles, cousins, stepfathers, everybody needs to step up. And the stepfather thing is real tricky, because boy, I tell you, man, some brothers won't take their kids to the store. Some brothers won't tie their child's shoestring. But the minute their child's mother get another man in her life, and he yell at the kid, or if he raised his voice at the kid, the father is irate. Don't be yelling at my son. Don't be yelling at my child. Dude, you ain't been a father in 11 years. All of a sudden you're a father because someone raised their voice at your child? Like, come on now. So that stuff is crazy, man. So we have to get at the business of that as well. And let's do what we can do to help these young brothers out here, because I'm telling you, with the right help, just like with anybody, with the right help, everyone can reach their true potential, and they can find their niche in life. So be a contributor to that. Don't be a naysayer and someone who constantly talk down on these individuals that's going through things in life, because I can assure you that all you people haven't had your life together all your life. Everyone had trials and tribulations. So let's not act like you're holier than thou or something like that, people. So that's on that topic, and that took most of the show. So I might not be able to get to the next portion I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about the slave trade in Libya, people, and I want to get you guys' thoughts. And I gotta somehow get everyone to follow this page, because I got on my regular page, I got almost 5,000 friends and followers. But on the Educational Gilmore Speaks fan page, it's only about 10% of that base. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, people. I got to do something to get everyone on that page, so we can essentially have our audience. And I know that for the most part they might see it, but they might have a question, and they might have a question in real time that need to be answered. They might have a valid point to something we're talking about. I told you, everyone have valid points. Everyone input counts, So yeah, let's talk about the slave trade in Libya, people. We seen the video circulating about men being auctioned off for $400, people. And just to give you guys a brief background on Libya and how the death of Muammar Gaddafi essentially contribute to the slave trade in Libya. Gaddafi, when he became president of Libya, Libya was one of the poorest African countries, people. Let that marinate. Libya was one of the poorest African countries. And then he have taken them to heights no one could have imagined. I want to say they were one of the top African countries before his death. So just some things that you may not have known about Muammar Gaddafi. And just so we clear people, by no means do I approve of everything that he did. There are allegations that he essentially oppressed people and things like that. But I know this much. I know that he had made a huge contribution to the people of Libya. Basically, under Gaddafi regime, or not regime, I don't want to say, under Gaddafi's administration, if you will, home was considered a basic citizen's rights in Libya. So essentially, there were no homelessness in Libya. Individuals in Libya did not have to pay electrical bills, people. They didn't. So whatever he was doing, apparently, looking at all these contributions he made to that country and that jurisdiction, he was doing some things right, people. He was doing some things right. There was no interest for loans on Libya according to law. So according to law, and that's huge because I have student loans here in America, and the interest rate on those students' loans are criminal in itself. The interest rate alone are criminal in itself, people. So for citizens of Libya to essentially have interest-free loans, and for those of you guys who don't understand finances or anything, I'm going to break this down in as simplest form as I can. To not have no interest on a loan is essentially like getting $100,000 loan from your mother or your father. They're not going to charge you any interest on it. As opposed to getting $100,000 loan from a government or institution. And the interest on that $100,000 loan, let's say, is 7 to 10%. So when you get in a position to begin to pay it back, it have accumulated so much compound interest that by the time you pay it back, you might be paying double. Some people don't pay loans back in a lifetime, people. Some people don't pay student loans back in a lifetime. And Gaddafi also, he increased the literacy rate from about 25% to 83%. That's a huge jump. That's a huge jump. That's huge, people. Medical expenses in government hospitals were free in Libya. Essentially free and universal health care. Huge. Huge, people. See, we can't get caught up in all the hype about the negative things that's painted about an individual and not focus on their contributions that they made to their people. I'll give you something for drastic measures. When they were after Muammar Gaddafi, on the news, you constantly seen allegations or clippings of allegations that he was oppressing his people. Fast forward to December 17th, 2017. There's a lack of media coverage and a lack of outrage of what's transpiring in Libya right now as I speak. Right now as I speak, the powers that be in a major media outlets are just, for whatever reason, is just not covering the story. It's just not covering the story. But this is the same country that you were willing to publicize all of the alleged misdeeds of this individual. See what I'm saying, people? When you got to wake up and you got to understand what's transpiring right before your eyes. You see how the media prey on your lack of understanding or your lack of awareness or your intellectual capacity to understand what's going on, they pray to that. They pray to that. They feed you the news that they want to feed you. People, y'all better pay attention, man. Y'all better pay attention because this stuff is ugly. So medical expenses free. The price of petrol was 14 cents in Libya. Yes, we all know Libya has good petroleum resources, but the price seems to be too low, isn't it? There we go. When Libyan citizens will go buy a car, government use subsidies 50%. They subsidize up to 50% of the individual's car. And I don't think I seen that up here on this list, but I think newlyweds, newlywed citizens of Libya under Gaddafi's administration receive, I think, inwards of $5,000 to get them started, something like that. 5,000. Yeah, I want to say 5,000. I want to say 5,000. Newlywed people got, let me see how much they got exactly. Oh, excuse me, I'm lying, people. 50,000. 50,000 they got. They got 50,000. That sounds like a place I think I would have wanted to live back then. But of course we wouldn't know this because this is not the image that's portrayed of this individual. And a lot of people that, you know, look at this this incident in Libya, a lot of people are upset with our former President Barack Obama. A lot of people are upset with our former Secretary of State and presidential candidate Hillary Clinton with regards to their contribution in dismantling of the Libyan government. A lot of people are upset. And so how do we get here, people, with regards to the slave trade? How did we get here? How did we get here? Did the destabilization of Libya, i.e. taking on Mr. Muammar Gaddafi life, is this some type of way contributing to the lucrative slave trade in Libya? It's 2017, people. It's 2017. And the thing that I'm more scared of, people, is not what they showing us, the slave auction. I'm afraid of what they're not showing us, people. The stuff that's too harsh for them to show us. That's what I'm more afraid of. That's what I'm more afraid of, people. And what obligations does the U.S. have to step in and do something about it? Apparently, we were so gung-ho and enthusiastic about dismantling Muammar Gaddafi administration. Because of all the alleged allegations, it was alleged that he have participated or done. You know, we was gung-ho about going in there then. Now we see what's circulating now on some media outlets. You know, why are we outraged enough to go back in there and do something? You know, are we only going in there when it's beneficial to us? Or are we going in there when it's beneficial to everybody? Because it's a humane thing to do. So people, when I say that we got to do more reading and studying and being informed of what's going on around us, this is a scary world we living in, people. It's a very scary world we living in. But just because it's scary, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't inform ourselves. We shouldn't educate ourselves. We shouldn't have an understanding of what's going on. And although Libya is, you know, miles away, it still should be something near and dear and concerning, especially to the African American community right here in Jersey City. It still should be something near and dear to you, because essentially that's where we derive from. That's our origins. No matter how many of my brothers and sisters may try to stray away from that, but I mean, it is what it is. And if for nothing else, if you're not African American or black, it's just inhumane. Humans should not be treated like that. So you can throw race out of the window, throw culture out of the window. Human beings should just not be treated like that. Simple. just should not be treated like that, man. Oh, man. And with regards to the slave trade, is this normal? Is this normal? How many other countries are conducting and participating in these type of horrendous and hideous acts? This is the world we live in, people, in 2017. And everybody always say, man, I can't live during slavery. I can't watch another person get this done to them. I can't. We're living in those days right now. Those days are not long behind us. Those days and those times are prevalent right now. Right now. Yes, they are, people. Right now. Right now. So what are we doing, people? Coach Wu, why are you talking about this, Coach Wu? We in Jersey City. So what? So what we're in Jersey City? You know, so what? So that's what I had to say with regards to that, people. I'm having all type of, I don't know, y'all, let me see, my chest, my lower chest or something, like right below my pecs is hurting for some reason. I don't know what it is, man. But tonight, I'm going to cut tonight's show short. I thank everybody that tuned in. I thank everybody for sharing the video and everything. I'm going to cut tonight's show short, about 15 minutes, man. I apologize to y'all, but for some reason, my pecs or under my pecs or something is kind of hurting right now. So on that note, you guys be great on purpose. Your brother Educational Gilmore, and I'm gone.